Hey guys, welcome back to We Watch Movie. I'm Mike, he's Jay, and we're reviewing Justice League vs. Teen Titans DC animated film. We want to get into these DC animated films. We both love them, both always love them, but we don't review them very much. But we're gonna fucking start, Jay!
Why? Because we fucking feel like it.
First off, before we get going though, I want to guys tell you...
Yeah?
First off, before we get going though, guys, I want to tell you about something special and awesome that one of you all did. Manor Hall wrote this book. Do you see it? Do you see? It's called The Amulet of the Elements, Keeper of the Elements, and it's written by Manor Hall, a longtime supporter and subscriber of Wham. She's one of you. This is just book one, and what this is, it's a Game of Thrones type magical. There's fucking dragons. There's sex. There's all sorts of
You had me at sex.
You had me at sex. There's all sorts of crazy, and this is the shirts that we're wearing right now. Check it out. There's t-shirts.
And I don't wear t-shirts, so it's very nice.
I don't know where the camera sits. I don't know if you can see it. Take it, breathe it in.
No, wait. Hey, bring your head down. Go up.
Breathe it.
Then go down.
Up. Can you?
Down. Up. Down.
I know what you're doing. You're sick.
I read the synopsis of it. I haven't unfortunately had a chance to read it because Mike only had the fucking copy. It sounds like a Game of Thrones kind of thing. A lot of subplots and a lot of political intrigue and thriller and drama going on in this about dragons and men and sorcerers and witches and Donald Trump not being elected. No, I'm kidding. But there's a lot of stuff going on that it seems like it would be a really fun read.
All her stuff is going to be in the description below. You guys are going to want to check this out. Support each other, love each other, hug each other, hold each other.
And I'll just say, that is fucking awesome that you've done this. Like,
Holy shit.
That is so cool. I mean, it really is. I mean, these t-shirts, the fucking book, Barnes and Nobles. Like, I think it's badass. Like, that's so cool.
I only read picture books usually,
yeah.
But I'm gonna read this shit. Yeah, so
I read audiobooks.
All the stuff's gonna be in the description below. Her Twitter, you can buy it on BarnesandNoble.com. You can buy it on Amazon.com. You can buy it anywhere that books are sold, basically. And yeah, check it out. Support this shit, guys.
But you know what?
The Amulet of the Elements by Manor Hall.
And the cool And the cool thing about that book is that Sean Bean doesn't die.
So Justice League vs. Teen Titans. This, like I said, we both love the DC animated universe.
They're number one.
It's one of those few things that you can't. I mean, DC. Everybody wants to fight about DC and Marvel, and that's stupid as hell. Like, you should love them both.
But in this arena, they are gods.
Yeah,
they are gods. Like, DC has put out amazing animated movie after amazing animated movie. They really know how to make a movie enjoyable for adults as well as children. So it's cool to see that. My favorite of all time, it's hard because I love The Dark Knight Part 1 and Part 2, but I do love Flashpoint Paradox. I think that's a fucking awesome movie. This movie, it's not as dark as those movies. It didn't go as far dark as other DC animated films that I was used to had gone. But it's still an enjoyable little trek into the DC universe with the Teen Titans and Damian Wayne.
We see the Teen Titans for the first time in the DC animated universe. Yeah, they've had the show and stuff like that. And it's kind of weird to watch this because my daughter and I, we love the shit out of Teen Titans.
My daughter and I do too.
Network. Shut up.
I don't have egos.
But and this is like obviously it's more towards the serious take of it, but you get the same feel from some of it. Beast Boy, he sounds like the Beast Boy that you know from the show and stuff like that. Everybody's a little bit older, a little bit more mature. There is like adult stuff in this. It's PG-13, I think, like the rest of them. There's even some sexual implicit stuff going on.
Innuendos in there, yeah.
Yeah, but it's the continuation of the story of Damian. What they did was they took the Damian out of the Batman and Robin storylines, which, I mean, DC's really, really, really focused on Damian. I mean, like every movie it seems like that comes out has a hardcore storyline based around him, and this is no different. But he's a little bit less annoying. You get a little bit more of his backstory. You get to know his pain, and honestly, this kid and his strife and his like inner pain, he's very, very fucking Batman-ish. Ouch! What are you doing?
I was trying to get my leg crossed like Sharon Stone. That's weird. You know, it's not that I don't blame DC for doing that. It's like they wanted to make sure that character of Bruce Wayne's son gets pushed into the public eye. I just don't like the fact that Bruce Wayne got raped. So, he got raped. He's not bad. Damian Wayne's kind of he's a little butt asshole in this, which is, I guess, characterized. His characterization's perfect because I know he's like a troublesome kid and he's kind of difficult for Bruce Wayne because he was raised by Ra's al Ghul and Talia al Ghul to be this basically world conqueror kind of kid. You know, and he's got a shit ton of money. He can buy any Xbox game he wants. And then he takes it on himself to do something in the film to kind of end the conflict. And then Batman's looking at me, he gets in this argument, it's like, well, what I did worked, didn't it? I just see it in Batman's face like, motherfucker, wait till we get home. Yeah. Wait till we get home. Fuck! You're going back to your mom's after this. I was like, fuck that weekend shit. I'm gonna get you every other month. Because it was just like, that's really why Damian Wayne goes to the Teen Titans, is because Batman feels that he basically needs military school or something.
Yeah.
So he goes and he sends them there to work as a team, to learn what it is to be on a team. And he meets up the Teen Titans, and he doesn't get along. I got a really X-Men vibe from it, didn't you? Like they were like that
when they were training.
They were training, and but they had all their different personalities. They all had their different things going on. They were kids. They didn't really get along. I love that stuff. And he's such a bastard. Like, Damian Wayne's such a dick.
Shit.
He talks to Starfire. He's like, how old are you? Shouldn't you graduated? And she's like, you little shit.
It's like, I can find my way around the place.
She's like, do you know I fucked your Uncle Nightwing?
There's some strong sexual stuff going on between her and Nightwing, which is hilarious because it gets just... like, you're watching this kiddie, like, it's an animated movie. It's a cartoon on some aspects, but it's an adult cartoon. It's PG-13, all that stuff. But all of a sudden, like, you catch a glimpse of Nightwing looking down Starfire's shirt, and you're like, dude, what? That's weird. And it's almost weird for me because she's so sexual in this movie, and like I said, I'm used to watching with my daughter the little kiddie version of Teen Titans and stuff, and it's so weird.
Granted, I don't know that much about the Teen Titans. I really don't.
Yeah.
I know enough about them to be able to watch the film and enjoy it. I will say Beast Boy's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, he's awesome.
I think he's one of the coolest ones on there, especially when he was like, because like when there's a scene when Damian Wayne is like, I have to stop Superman, I have to take him down. He's like, it's like, yeah, like, you can stop Superman. And he was like, you have a plan. And he like looks at him, he's like, oh my god, I think he has a plan.
The Beast Boy's the shit, dude. Waffles.
Raven in Teen Titans, basically Trigon, which is, for lack of a better term, Satan.
Yeah.
Her mom fucked the devil. She got so pissed off with the rest of the world. I mean, that's when you go on Tinder and you're like, fuck it.
Satan, you're like, swipe right.
Number one. So apparently Raven's mom fucked Satan, had her. Satan came over to another parallel dimension and took over, killed everything, keeps her prisoner. She escapes from another dimension, and Trigon is at it again in his old wily ways to get back out on Earth.
That's so Trigon.
Oh my goodness!
It's not like a toothpaste.
Laptrap. But yeah, so and then that's why the Justice Leaguers and the Titans kind of unite after they have their little fallout to stop Trigon. And the reason why I says Justice League versus Teen Titans is because Trigon possesses a few key members of Justice League.
He uses the Venom stuff from Spider-Man, Venom suits, and they...
Actually, you know what I thought that was? I thought that was the hatred that Batman vs Superman got, and that's what happened.
But yeah, they take control of the Justice League, and then the Teen Titans have to not only fight them, but fight Trigon. What they don't tell you in the trailers and stuff like that might be a surprise to you. I know it's Justice League versus Teen Titans, but there's actually fights between other members too. Like some like you might talk about, like, I wonder what would happen if so-and-so fought so-and-so, and they actually give you some really epic fights just because of the way things work out, and it'll blow your mind. It's really cool.
I thought it was, I know we can't get into specifics about it because we don't want to give anything away, but there are a fight between two legendary iconic characters, and you're like, that's horse shit. I actually got invested in that scene. I was like, that's fucking bullshit. That's a lie.
You're talking about the leg break.
The leg break, yes. The leg break, which, if you've seen it, you'll know what we're talking about. I'm like, no. His eyes doesn't move that fast.
It's strange because they do a good job introducing the Teen Titans into this whole verse, like the more mature, the more adult version of them, and then introduce them. And Trigon's a badass. John Bernthal voices
awesome,
Trigon, and he really is to his scale. Like, sometimes you see, like, oh, they're gonna have this gigantic villain, and then they cop out on some sense. Trigon, no way. Like, Superman, like you said, goes up against him at one point, and Superman can't even do anything. He is so badass and so epically unstoppable for most of this movie that it's really, really impressive, and he's scary. He's Godzilla-ish. Like, he just walks around blowing up shit with his eyes. Trigon is a badass.
Well, they were running with the devil. The guy that plays Batman's voice, like the guy that does the Batman voice, it's not Kevin Conroy, and I know that, but it's just there's something that's missing. Like, I don't know what it is. He just feels like he's selling me accounting books.
It's almost just good enough. It's just
there.
Good enough.
Yeah, it's there, but it's just
and he's been the same Batman for the past few movies, or whatever. But I know what you mean. And Cyborg, it's kind of cool what they do with him. Nobody knows what side he's on because, as we know, he's part of the Teen Titans, but at other times he's part of the Justice League. It's really cool how they tell his story too. But really, this movie's a tale of three movies because they start out, they want to introduce you to the Teen Titans, and they do that well. And then there's a point in this movie though where it's maybe this movie was good. But there's maybe the middle section of this movie, there's a point in this where they decide to tell the story in a certain way that's probably the worst thing I've ever seen done in the DC universe. And it's where they want the Teen Titans to gel with Robin. So they go to this carnival, right? And they want to have this, like... And then they start playing, like, pop music over, like terrible pop music, like I just wanna be your friend, and they're at a carnival, and it's just so over the top and bad, and it's like, imagine tuning into the worst pop radio station ever with the worst, most over the top, awful music, and watching the Teen Titans like dance to it. It's that bad.
That scene reminded me of an episode, or maybe the beginning of Step by Step, where they were doing the whole thing, because it really felt like a very O-Townish, NSYNC style, mid-90s kind of grouping together of young teens that would bond over shitty fucking pop music, which makes no sense because fucking Raven and Damian aren't about that shit, so they wouldn't be listening. They'd be listening to their emo thing in the back.
And I get what they're trying to say. They're teenagers, so they're trying to plug this hardcore Party of Five teenager vibe right into the center of this movie, and it's so fucking bad. It's just bad. It's so bad.
Well, I mean, first off, Damian Wayne and Raven will be in the corner making out, probably having sex, underage having sex, and listening to Bullet for My Valentine. You guys remember the Power Rangers, the movie, which is, for all intents and purposes, cheesy as fun. It's cheesy fun. But that scene at the very end of the Power Rangers movie when they're like singing, they do that Van Halen Dreams, and they're watching the fireworks explode in the air, and it's so corny, and it's so... But it's not even fun corny. It's just like that.
Yeah.
And it was kind of jarring a little bit.
Yeah, it really was.
You had this whole cool, dark kind of sense going on, these cool tones like going out throughout the entire film, and then all of a sudden this Family Matters shit like pops in, and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's really, really off-putting. But then you get to the third act, and it's really, really good. The way that the Justice League and Teen Titans interact, and they're going up against this badass Trigon villain. It was really, really good. Yeah. It was so good the way they did it, the way the fights worked out, the intensity of it. All the third final act when everything hits its peak is so good, and that ends up making this a really, really, really good Justice League edition.
But you gotta wonder about the Justice League when it says Justice League versus the Teen Titans. It's like Justice League. You're the fucking Justice League. You're fighting teenagers.
But they do it well. I mean, they managed to pull.
That's the one thing I was worried about. I was like, they're fucking teenagers and you're whipping their ass. Yeah. Like, I know they're little kids, but we beat the shit out of them, like Jay from fucking Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back or whatever, or a Dogma. But it felt like that, but they did do it well. I mean, it wasn't like they were, like, no-powered kids that just went up against the superhumans of the world.
And they bring back into the fold a character that you haven't seen in a while, and that story is really hardcore and epic. The way
Would you like to see a part 2?
I'd watch it, yeah. I give this, honestly, an 8 out of 10. I think that middle point is so terrible, and it just brings you out of the movie. But there's so many good things in this movie, and it's just so entertaining. And they do the Justice League and Teen Titans so well in the third act of the film that I really, really enjoyed it. What do you give it?
I'm gonna give it 7.5. I loved it almost just as much as you did. The only thing, there are parts of it that I don't like. There are certain aspects of the characterizations that I'm not really into.
What did you guys think of Justice League versus Teen Titans? And what's your all's thoughts on Damian? Do you think he's getting better? Do you think they're trying to make him into a Batman? And what do you think's gonna happen with the fucking Killing Joke? That's gonna be amazing.
Killing Joke's gonna be fucking badass. I wish they'd just go back to Tim Drake, dude. Honestly. I like Tim Drake.
I like him. I just wish they wouldn't focus on him. Like, he's the forefront of everything.
I just don't like the fact that Bruce Wayne got raped. I don't like that. I don't like the whole fucking idea behind Damian Wayne.
I just in my head I pretend that Damian.
And not to mention they call him Damian.
I know, but in my head I pretend that Damian was the result of in The Dark Knight Rises when Bruce Wayne's power went out and he laid Talia al Ghul. Like, that's where the...
Yeah, well, or it could have been just like, I didn't know there was a hole in the condom.
Comment down below, guys. Let us know. We love your fucking faces. @We Watch Movie on Twitter. We're on Instagram. We're on everything. Facebook, all that shit. It's in the comments, the description down below. Also, check out Manor Hall's book. We love all of your faces. If you're new to the channel, click that subscribe button and get some wham up in you.
We watched a movie. Yeah. We watched a movie.